Hey everybody, welcome back. It's patch 7.4, and if you're an Udyr main, you know how hard it is to play Phoenix right now in the current meta. The early game is just too weak. But the build I want to show you this time solves that problem by maxing Tiger first for early game strength, and then maxing Phoenix next so you can do mixed physical and magic damage when you combine them. I've uploaded a hybrid build like this before, but with that one the first item was Rage Blade. This time the first items will be Cinderhulk and Sheen, and the Sheen can be upgraded to either Trinity or Iceborne for an early 20% cooldown reduction. Also, getting Sheen before Rage Blade seems like a better build order because you have a choice to build a defensive Iceborne Gauntlet if things don't go well for you. But with just 2 attack speed items, you can reach maximum attack speed at level 18 with this build. And since our late game damage is half physical and half magic damage, enemies can't counter build against it easily with just armor or MR. We're going to start level 1 with a Hunter's Machete and a refillable potion. For the first recall, we can try to get a Hunter's Potion, a Stalker's Blade, and basic boots. The early game core is Sheen and Cinderhulk. Around this time you can also upgrade boots, usually defensively, but if you're fed you can go for Swiftness boots. And then pick either Trinity Force or Iceborne Gauntlet to upgrade your Sheen. If the enemy team is mostly physical damage, you might want Iceborne Gauntlet, but if you just want to do the most damage that you can, go for Trinity Force. Then after that, you can choose another damage item. Usually it's better to take this if you're a little bit ahead. You can choose either Gwinsu's Rage Blade or Wit's End. If you choose Trinity Force and Gwinsu's Rage Blade, you will reach 2.50 attack speed at level 18 when you have full passive stacks, full Gwinsu's Rage Blade stacks, and your Q activated. And that will also give you flames on every second attack. And then for the late game defense, choose either armor or MR depending on who's strong in the enemy team. I usually choose between Frozen Heart or Spirit Visage first because they give cooldown reduction. If the damage on the enemy team is mixed, physical, and magic, you can go for a Guardian Angel. For the runes, our quintessences are attack speed. There are 2 attack speed reds. This is just enough attack speed to reach maximum attack speed at level 18. And then the remaining 7 reds are precision, otherwise known as hybrid penetration. The yellows are flat armor. Blues are scaling MR. For the Masteries, we'll be running 18012, Fervor of Battle. It got a small buff this patch. The stacks now last 8 seconds instead of 6 seconds. We're also taking Battle Trance. It did get slightly nerfed, but so did every other option in this row of Masteries. So they all got nerfed pretty much the same, so I think Battle Trance is still a good option. Then in the Resolve tree, we're taking Fearless to give us a little bit extra armor and MR at engages, so we can survive a little bit longer and have more time to stack up our Fervor, Battle Trance, and Rage Blade. Starting level 1 at blue buff as always, and with Q as always. So we can do a double Q burn, and then I'm going to kite this blue buff backwards to save myself some health, moving in the direction of the enemy red buff that I want to steal to save myself some time. You can kite these pretty far before they start losing patience. But that time was really close. That was almost a disaster. That would have been a long walk back. But we got it. Now let's head over to the enemy red buff. Level 2 Phoenix, so we can alternate these for the fastest possible clear. Just remember to let Phoenix complete 1 full cycle before switching off to Tiger Stance every time. So after the second instance of flames every time is when you want to switch to Tiger Stance. And for the Raptors, just attack the small ones first. Then level 3 you can choose to level up either Turtle or Bear Stance. If you want to go for a gank, you can choose Bear Stance, but just be careful that your health isn't too low because you didn't have Turtle Stance for your clear. The other option is to take Turtle Stance level 3 and then just farm a little bit longer and then recall, which is safer, but you have less potential to get a lot of money. So in this example, I killed mid, recalled, went straight back to mid. I'm still level 3, I don't even have Turtle Stance, but you don't need Turtle Stance to gank. Start with Bear, and then Tiger, and then Phoenix. It's always Tiger before Phoenix because the Tiger is going to increase your attack speed, and then your Phoenix is going to do a little bit more damage. And then you can just repeat that cycle. You can switch back to Bear, and then Tiger and Phoenix again. So that's the ability order for a super aggressive early game. Level 1 Q, level 2 Phoenix, and level 3 Bear Stance. The next example I'm going to show you is going to start with level 3 Turtle Stance. So again, starting at this blue buff, I'm going to kite it towards the enemy red buff to save some time and save some health. This is all just exactly the same as last game, attacking the small raptors first. This time, level 3 Turtle Stance, So you can see we're already lifestealing a little bit. And we're not going to be able to 1v1 this guy because we don't have bear stance. That's very important to have bear stance if you want to 1v1 somebody or gank anybody. We're going to farm our own raptors. I'm not going to take my red yet because I still have the enemy red, so I'll just leave a ward, farm Krugs, and then I'm going to recall because my blue buff just expired and I'm out of health and mana. So we had a little bit over 800 gold from that without getting any kills. Picked up a Hunter's Potion, basic boots, and an attack speed dagger. Now, I noticed this Graves walking upriver here, so I decided to wait around this corner here and then hop out and surprise him. Started with Tiger and Bear, then switch over to Phoenix. And then I'm just gonna, when I have enough mana, activate one more Bear Stance and finish him off. Now this dragon's up, and I can easily solo it at level 7. You can solo it around level 5, really. You can solo it earlier than that, but I wouldn't really recommend doing it earlier than that. It's too risky. But we were interrupted by these guys, and check out this damage. I'm not even that fed yet, and I'm already doing a ton of damage to these guys. So we'll take out this dragon. Take the scuttle. Now Graves is headed towards mid, leave a ward in there. Protect this echo. And try to burst down the Zed real quick. Catch him by surprise. He ults me, he's dead. And let's just chase these guys down and push down this mid tower. So the moral of the story here is you don't need to have a super aggressive start to get really fed, because you could just farm the jungle for a few minutes and then surprise everybody and get a lot of kills a few minutes later. So let's try to burst down this Vel'Koz, try to dodge all these skill shots. Jukes are really important because you can dodge a lot of hard CC. Most of the hard CC in this game you can dodge. Trying to catch this Jhin, he's not going to fall for it twice. He's going to miss his skill shots though. He's going to miss every one of his skill shots though, and I'm just going to take this blue buff on my way out. So up here I surprised these guys by waiting in the bush. They thought I was going to run away. Got one of them. Got another one. I juked the wrong way right into that snare. That was my fatal error because I would have been able to stun Zed and then Q him, and I might have been able to kill him also. Now let's go back to split pushing bot. We're even more fed than we were before. Jump on this guy, pop Ghost, just run straight at him. Try to dodge that Jhin snare this time. They die so fast, and it's mixed damage, remember, so they can't counter build against it. Nobody has that much money to build armor and MR when they're also trying to build damage. We'll take out this mid inhib. And this game's pretty much over, but I'm going to show you another game that didn't go so well. Some people ask in the comments what to do in a losing game. Well, this is going to be an example. So this Singed, first of all, he didn't want a leash from me. He said to start at bot side, and I said, no, I'll just solo it. So instead of invading this time, because it's going to be a little bit slower for my first clear, I'm not going to invade. I'm going to just go to my wolves. So I'm going to kite this blue buff again, but this time towards my wolves. Level 2 Phoenix. You don't need to attack the small ones first. You can maybe attack them once each time and then just attack the large one, and your flames will finish the small ones. That was a mistake, a small mistake that I made there. Take our red buff, and you can see your health drops a little bit low. I mean, it would be better if you had a leash. Usually you can have about 3/4 health after red buff, if you do have a leash. Let's take out this scuttle real quick, and let's try to get that mid laner, because he's really low. So I'm going to activate Ghost, and I'm just going to run at him and activate my damage. 2 autos, Q and Phoenix, and he's dead fast. Just run in here. See what we can find in the enemy jungle. We found a Hecarim. Start with Bear Stance, then Tiger Stance, and then Phoenix Stance. And he's going to run away from that. So easy 1v1. Let's try to help our top laner, but he dies while I was on my way there, so let's try that again later. Now my blue buff's pretty much over, so I'm not going to gank mid. I'm just going to farm this Gromp and then recall. My mid laner disconnected, so for now I'm just going to take his farm in mid. It's actually going to give me a little bit of a boost to my XP, so that's good. I'll just take a couple waves in mid, push it really fast with Phoenix Stance, and then go take Raptors. And then my mid laner does reconnect. And we're going to head down towards bot lane to try to get a kill or two. Stay out of vision, take a long way around the back. Focusing the 80 carry. Let's try to catch up to that ADC so we can stun him. Blitz gets a free hook on him, and we get the kill. Let's leave a ward over here. Let's try to gank mid. But he dies before I can get there. So I'm not going to be able to keep up with that guy because I only have enough mana for 1 or 2 more spells. So I'm just going to farm this. And Singe dies again also. So it's not the best start I've ever had. Singe is already 0-3. I'm definitely going to be taking this blue buff. I don't really trust this Xerath. Let's try to gank for him. Chase this Diana. Now Diana's kind of in a bad situation here, because he's kind of trapped now if he doesn't have flash. Hecarim comes in, but it's not going to be enough to stop us from killing this Diana. Xerath flashes onto Hecarim and finishes him off, but we're not going to be able to get this Thresh. Now hopefully that gold is going to help Xerath catch up to his opponent. Top is kind of a lost cause at this point, so I'm not going to even try to gank top anymore. It's a really bad idea to gank somebody if they're dying a lot, because you have to try to help people that are going to help the team. And some people, if they're feeding too hard, no matter how much you help them, they're not going to help the team. See, Singe is dead again. So you can camp lanes that are on the edge of winning and losing, or you can just camp lanes that are just winning really hard. Those are the best lanes to gank. Team fight's about to break out in bot. Should be a couple easy kills. Kill the 80 carry, and our 80 carry gets a kill also. So now our team's only down by 1 kill. Because there's nothing else to gank over here, and I'm pretty low on mana, I'm just going to farm these Krugs. So I was headed towards mid, and then I didn't realize that Hecarim was attacking me this whole time. I think if he didn't catch me by surprise, I would have been able to kill him. Oh well, he got me. Outplayed. So I'm going to pick up Mercs and a Glacial Shroud because I'm planning to build an Iceborne Gauntlet because they have 3 strong AD champions. It's a good time to build an Iceborne Gauntlet. They've got a Fed Riven, a pretty strong Hecarim, and 80 carry. We get another kill on Diana. And if you notice, it's always the same ability order. Start with Bear Stance, then Tiger Stance, and then Phoenix Stance. Super easy. Let's Bear Stance this Hecarim, then Tiger Stance and Phoenix Stance. He takes a lot of damage, and he's just going to ult away from it. He doesn't want none of that mixed damage. Let's recall, finish our Cinderhulk. It's going to help us a lot, especially since we do already have some MR and armor, but we didn't have much health before. This tower's about to go down, but let's see what we can do. Let's burst out this Riven first, Bear Stance, Tiger, and Phoenix. And same thing for Diana, Bear Stance, Tiger, Phoenix. Well, I didn't need the Phoenix. And Singed gets 2 kills. It's pretty good. And Singed gets another kill. So Singed goes from 0-6 to being 3-6. Now, all the lanes are looking good. Meanwhile, I'm super fed. I have over 90% kill participation right now. So I'm thinking, I'm not going to build Iceborne anymore. I just want to do a lot of damage. I want Trinity Force. So I can use that Glacial Shroud to instead build a Frozen Heart. And that's going to help me counter all their heavy physical damage. Then also when I get Trinity Force, I'll be maximum cooldown reduction. And it should be a perfect build to counter their team. Especially when I'm so fed. So that's why this build order is so nice. Because you can always change your mind. If you wanted to counter magic damage, you would just need to build a Wit's End. Because Wit's End plus Cinderhulk is really good on Phoenix Stance. So we'll take out this Fire Drake, and then let's go to group push bot. Our team is looking pretty good now. And let's recall, we can finish our Frozen Heart and start building Trinity Force. So we're already at 30% CDR, and we have a lot of armor and a pretty good amount of health, so we can counter pretty much all of their big damage. The main threat right now on the enemy team is the Riven, and we can definitely 1v1 the Riven right now. So we get another bot tower, found a Hecarim, let's chase him out. He does not even want to try to fight that. Let's also take most of Thresh's health, just because. Why not? Let's farm these minions. And now let's go back to split pushing bottom. But look at that, Riven is in bottom. Riven is 12-5 at the moment, So let's see if we can actually 1 versus 1 the guy with the build designed to counter him. So we'll start with Bear Stance, then Tiger Stance, Phoenix Stance, and then finally just going to do one more Tiger Stance for a huge burn with max fervor stacks. So because we know we can 1v1 the Ribbon, let's try to split push this as far as we can. Our team is meanwhile going to take out top lane, and we've been 4v5 for the past 5 minutes, but we're winning anyways, which is pretty cool. Let's keep pushing this. We're going to dive this 80 carry. We have so much health and a lot of armor, so we can take a lot of tower hits. Tiger and Phoenix, and he's dead. Now, we have only a third health, and let's try to 1 versus 1 this Riven. Same ability order. Then after Phoenix, I actually used Turtle Stance that time because my health was so low. Now I'm going to take out this inhibitor as my team grabs mid inhibitor. And then we got 5 people still alive. We're going to take out top lane. And that's going to be the end of this game. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something. Let me know if you have any questions regarding this build or anything regarding Udyr. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.